nobody, yes, nobody thinks that the Object 263 is a great tank, but maybe they should on World of Tanks console, and today's video is showcasing what a monstrosity this can be if you do get into the right sort of matchup, and if you play the tank to its kind of best ability, because ultimately this tank is predominantly a really good tank. It has an amazing damage per minute. It also gets a fairly high top speed limit for a tank destroyer that has actually okay armor from the front, and that allows you to have some games like you're about to witness in this one where you feel like you can just sit there and you can punish a lot of the opponents, which for the most part in World of Tanks console is not usually that often that you can get away with doing things like that. And of course, this replay is showcasing on Hellfire Pass, one of the new, in quotation marks, maps that is in World of Tanks at the minute, and that is because this has been re-released. It used to be Scorpion Pass. They've extended it right out to the right hand side where we kind of are. It never used to come out that far over to the right. But what you can see here is a really nice aggressive position that we're going to take early on in the 263 because, you know, you're not that slow, you've got nice frontal armour, albeit the lower plate can get penned by most TDs and anyone firing premium effectively like most tanks in the game. And of course, the mantlet of this vehicle is awful, which means you get penned by absolutely everything. But what we're seeing within this replay in particular is what happens if you hide the lower plate and people just don't know the weak points. Well, you're about to see. And when you have such high alpha damage and the reload that this vehicle has, because effectively you've got 500 alpha damage, well, just over 500 alpha damage every single shot, which is super nice, and that means that you can basically pump out damage on loads and loads of different people, and you can do it really consistently. I believe you've got 560 alpha, you know, don't quote me on this, but ultimately what you can do is you can find yourself in situations where the enemy team can be blockaded by you. Now that doesn't happen on every map. I'm not going to create some sort of BS where basically this tank is amazing and you were going to be able to dominate matches. It is not an Object 279E that was on PC. This tank has a lot of weaknesses, and of course you are going to see them if you do decide to play it. The key weaknesses are, of course, that mantlet like we talked about, the lower plate, and the side armour is garbage. And by garbage I mean you will get penned pretty much by anyone and everyone that manages to hit the side armour. But ultimately, what this tank is about is making sure that no one can see the side armour, and then you can have some really good results. Now, already within this game, we've managed to get some assistance damage, and we've also managed to deal 2,700 damage, and that is going to increase as we kind of press on against these two opponents here. Now, what you're seeing me do is moving kind of in a bit of a kind of strange position, just trying to make it hard for the opponents. Now, the enemy Waffenträger only manages to deal a little bit of damage with HE. He's using the 15 centimeter, which means now he's pretty much wrecked because he's not got the reload to be able to punish us, and we're just going to go in and finish him off. For now, I did load a HE round, pointless anyway, because he already got all of his hit points removed anyway, so we ended up just having a pretty standard result. But you can see what happens when you kind of push with this vehicle. Because of the alpha damage, because of the damage per minute, it makes it really nice for when you do get yourself on a bit of an offensive and you've got some support tanks. Now, if you play in a platoon with this vehicle, it will be amazing, because especially if you have medium tanks on your team that just going to cover you a little bit, like you're seeing here with the TVPs, which just cover the reload where we're kind of pushing out a lot of damage all in one go. And you can see this Leopard 1 over here. It's just time to go off in. I'm after some more damage. I don't know how much damage I've done, and in fact I know I can change the overlay, but to be honest with you, it's kind of interesting to see not really care about how much damage you're doing and focus on the game sometimes, because sometimes you can get kind of caught up in the damage numbers and then you're really hesitant as to what to do next because you're having a good game. Whereas you can see here, 5,900 damage, we're going after the Leopard. He only manages to track us, and of course we can pump a nice shot into him, which is really good. The 263, that's exactly what you want to be doing. You want to be getting up to the top speed, you want to be going forward, making it difficult for people to hit that lower plate or the mantlet, and when you can, hitting them back for a nice 560 alpha. And that's really where this tank comes into full action. And it is a support tank. You are not going to be the kind of ball breaker. You cannot just go in and crush opponents because it probably just won't work. But if you do have some support, you have a few mediums, maybe you have a heavy tank with you, then you can be the kind of punch that comes with your team, and you can really dish out a lot of damage onto the opponents that you want to. Now, in this game, we've picked up 3,000 assistance damage, and because not only do you have good view range and good camo, because this tank has an amazing camo rating, as well as being able to kind of move and reposition itself, because sometimes you get tanks that, yeah, they have brilliant camos, but they're maybe really slow, and that kind of limits the tank to some degree. But nonetheless, what we'll see with this vehicle is you can have some really weird games, some things that you're just not used to, and that is what I love about certain vehicles in Model Tanks, especially ones like the Object 263, which most people just go, it's only an Object 263, it's not going to be able to have good games, and that is why seeing results like this is probably a little bit surprising, and considering we are playing in a kind of an interesting novel tank that probably doesn't get that used that much, and we managed to pick up 7,000 damage, getting 1,800 base experience as well, and getting 10,000 combined damage was an amazing result. Hopefully you did enjoy this vehicle. Of course, it's a fairly quick video today, and hopefully you do enjoy the shorter videos every now and again where we just showcase a great replay. Hopefully you like it. Of course, like and subscribe if you aren't already, and I hope you'll join me back in some more tier 10 gameplay coming soon, and of course some gameplay and tank reviews from all sorts of tiers as well. So thank you, and I'll see you there. Goodbye.